fellow collectors, and welcome to Long's Toys. Today we are taking a look at Iron Man and Thor from the Marvel Mechstrike Mechsaurs line from Hasbro. These are part of the Epic Hero series, and these are two of the single-packed figures. They don't have any mecha or anything with them. The majority of the Mechasaur line was kind of like a dino mecha slash suit, and then a figure. But they did have a couple separate figures as well. We took a look at Hulk previously, and I can put the link for that video at the end of this one. But we have a second version of Iron Man. There was an Iron Man that came with the Stegosaurus. This is kind of a different version, like a new set of armor Iron Man. And then we have a Thor figure here. And they both come with weapons, just like Hulk did. Have some artwork over here on the side, as well as showing you what's included in the box. Over here on this side, kind of the same artwork. Nothing really going on the bottom. And then on the back, just some product shots again of the figures and then the breakdown of what's included. So pretty standard packaging, but I'm excited for these two. I'm going to go ahead, get them out of the packaging here, and we're going to take a closer look. So here are Iron Man and Thor out of the packaging. I'm going to put Thor off to the side for a moment, and we will focus here on Iron Man. So this is actually the exact same mold of Iron Man from the one that came with the Stegosaurus, just painted differently. Obviously a lot more gold. I'll do a direct comparison in a moment. But I think the paint looks pretty great. I mean, the gold on the face and the blue for the eyes looks good. Blue over here on the chest looks pretty good. You have some nice gold paint all here. And then you have the arms and legs done out of gold plastic. Hopefully that will stand up over time with a little bit of red accent there. And then you have this weapon. It's this little dino guy. He's got a peg here for the character to grab onto, very hollow underneath. Just has this one little bit of gold paint, but you know, it's kind of like a Pachycephalosaurus with a kind of cannon in its mouth. It's alright. I mean, Iron Man doesn't really need accessories, let's be honest. His whole suit is a weapon, but he can hold it pretty easily. You just peg it right into his fist, and then he's just got a little companion dino weapon pal. It's kind of neat. Articulation-wise, pretty standard for these figures. Head is on a ball joint, so it can look down, can look up a little bit, rotate side to side, even tilt a little bit side to side. You have a hinge here in the shoulder to give you 90 degrees, as well as a rotation. You have a hinge and a rotation in the elbow. Forearm and hand are all one solid piece, so nothing in the wrist, nothing in the waist. But you have a hinge that can kick out to the side there for the hip, as well as kick forward. Can't really kick backward at all because of the butt flap they put in. And then you have a hinge and a rotation in the knees. But yeah, pretty nice, solid 4-inch figures for about $10.99. I found both of these at Target. They were Walmart exclusive to begin with, but just Walmarts were not getting them. For whatever reason, the only one that Walmart ever got was the Hulk. I went and searched several times, and all I could ever find was the Hulk. But then as soon as the exclusivity lapsed, Target got these both right away. So if you're looking for these, I definitely would check your local Target. They'll most likely have them now. But yeah, Iron Man looks pretty great. I'll come back. I'll do the comparison after. Let's take a look at Thor first. So he has this Stegosaurus hammer, or I guess it's an axe, really, from Endgame when he gets the, or I guess is it Infinity? It's been a minute since I've seen those movies, but he has Stormbreaker now instead of Mjolnir, and it's just kind of attached to the tail of the Stegosaurus. It's a little weird. It's not the best. I guess it's alright. It's just done in this kind of like silvery gray plastic, again hollow underneath, and then has the peg and it can just pop onto his hand. He holds it well, but it's just kind of weird. Like, to swing an axe with this kind of leverage doesn't make any sense. It just kind of looks weird. So, I appreciate the little dino pals, but I'm going to put that off to the side. Thor himself looks okay. To me, he's definitely missing a cape. I don't know how they would have done a cape. I guess they would have had to insert it into the back somehow, or if they could have done something that went underneath the head before they popped it on. But I really do feel like he's missing a cape. I will say that the pictures we saw online of this figure didn't do it justice. It looked much worse online. Actually, having it in hand, it's not too bad. Let's take a close-up look at the face. It's not bad. It's actually painted pretty nicely. The eyes are painted nicely. The helmet is pretty good. I would imagine the entire head is done out of this silvery plastic, and then they just painted the face on top, but it's not bad. And it's got all the same articulation as Iron Man. Some nice silver paint here on the chest. The arms look pretty good. He's got these, like, gauntlets here. I don't know why only one's painted. I don't know if that was just a choice or if I got one that's a mistake. I don't know if that's supposed to be painted or not. It's molded in. You can see the straps are molded in there, but they only painted them on this side. I don't know if that's like an accent thing or if it's just a mistake or a budget thing. I don't know. I honestly don't know the answer to that. Oops, there he goes. But he's got nice black boots down here. And I think this is... the navy blue and the black are very hard to tell the difference. I think the torso and the thighs are the navy blue and just the boots are in black. But then also he's got gray for the joint, so takes it out a little bit, but it's not a big deal. Yeah, honestly, he's a decent little figure. I don't love the weapon, and I don't know why only the one gauntlet is painted. So, again, could have been a style choice, could have been a budget thing, could have been a simple mistake. I don't know. But, yeah, he's okay. I mean, I think he needs a cape, and I wish he just kind of had a more traditional weapon. But other than that, not too bad. But let's go ahead and let's do some comparisons. So first up for Iron Man, this is the version of Iron Man that came with the Stegosaurus, and then this is Iron Man from the Retro 3 3/4 inch line, the Marvel Legends line, just to give you a little bit more comparison. But if you take a look at these, you can very clearly tell it's the exact same mold, just painted slightly different. I mean, all the molding in the chest is the same, the molding in the arms is the same. So it's just a different paint job, but it is cool because Iron Man has had several different versions of his armor over the years, and I really like both designs. This one's a little bit more classic, but I really do like this. Kind of reminds me of like the Extremis armor from the third Iron Man movie. So I kind of really like both of these. And then you have the absolutely super classic version from the comics here from the Marvel Legends Retro line. So very cool. 3 very distinct versions of Iron Man, and I really like all of them. And then here for Thor, I have the Marvel Legends Retro 3 3/4 inch Thor here. Surprisingly, these two are about the same size. I guess just because he's a larger character with the helmet and everything. And just to bring that Iron Man back in just for scaling, you can see that Thor, I guess they just did as a larger character. So he's definitely even taller than Iron Man here. But they're about the same size here, which I think is kind of cool. Personally, I prefer the more kind of classic comic book character look for Thor. I like having the hair visible. I like having the cape. I can understand why they didn't want to deal with that for this, especially with the hair. I can understand they didn't want to bother having the hair visible, but I think he would definitely benefit from a cape. But just to do a comparison there, like I said, for me, personally, I prefer this look. But I think we could, if we wanted to just give him a better weapon, we could probably have him borrow Mjolnir from the Retro line. If you wanted to just kind of give him a more classic weapon. It looks a little out of place, but he can definitely hold it. So you could definitely do something like that if you wanted to just kind of change up the weapons. If you don't like the Stegosaurus Stormbreaker. Stormbreaker? Stormasaur? I don't know. There's probably a portmanteau in there somewhere that I'm just not quick enough to come up with right now, but we put this back in Thor's hand. So yeah, like I said, just to do a comparison there. 2 different lines, obviously more articulation here than in this line, but I kind of prefer this more classic comic book look. So that's going to do it for these two. I definitely think they're pretty cool and definitely worth adding to the collection. I probably have to say I like the Iron Man more than the Thor just because I think this is a really nice repaint of that mold. And since Iron Man has had so many different versions of his armor over the years, I think it totally makes sense to just use the mold again but paint it differently. And I think this came out great. I really love the color scheme for this. Also, out of the 2 little weapon dinos, I kind of think this one's a little bit more successful. For Thor, I think the figure is okay. I think they did a pretty good job painting the face. The helmet's not too bad. Like I said, it definitely looks better in person than it did with some of the earlier photos we saw. I definitely wish he had a cape. I think that can make all the difference. I might try to, see if there's somewhere online I can buy just a red cape for a 3 3/4 inch or 4 inch figure. The weapon, not the most successful just because of the way he holds it. It's quite strange. I guess technically I could try to have him hold it like this. But then he's just holding like a whole dino out the back for no reason. So I don't know. I kind of wish there was a way that, you know, it could transform, or just have like a hinge here or something where it could swing, or maybe if it had like the rod go all the way back. I don't know, something. I think it's a little weird the way that it's done, having this piece down here. So it's not terrible, it's just a little awkward. And I also just don't know why the bands on this arm weren't painted. Like I said, could have been a budget thing, could have been a style choice, could have been a mistake. Not sure. But unfortunately, I think if I had to think back to all of the Mechsaur figures, probably Thor is the weakest one. But that's really just because all the others were really, really good. So he's not terrible. I just think somebody has to be the weakest one, and unfortunately it's probably him. But I still think it's a pretty decent little figure. A couple little things I would change, but otherwise still pretty decent. So let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Please like, share, and subscribe. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, and as always, thanks so much for watching.